I did Legion of Skanks. Your buddies at the Skanks.
They're my good friends.
Handsome kid. Handsome kid.
All right, we get it. You have your friends back.
Just saying.
With Sam Adams, you think legacy, the foundation of what
Nobody
America's
claps
about.
for my name on the screen.
I'm sitting here writing down my jokes. Oh, you guys happen to catch me writing jokes?
He's writing it as thank you.
He's practicing writing his own name.
Stop.
Lewis.
Maybe a big ass.
Lewis.
Maybe a real big ass. It's first, and then I write Brendan Schaub around it.
Hilarious.
Someone who actually matters, not through a tweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was waiting to make this video until the full podcast episode of Legion of Skanks with Bryan Callen dropped, and well, it finally did, and they didn't disappoint. I highly recommend you go watch the first few minutes of the podcast because they dropped a Brendan Schaub diss track. I'm not kidding. They dropped a legit Brendan Schaub diss track, and it was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. I highly recommend you go watch it. I'm not going to include it here, but they took a lot of shots at Brendan Schaub. I think it was a proper diss track, and in my opinion, I think this might be a chance for my twin little brows to get back and support Brendan Schaub with this one.
That's little brows, bro. Brows up, hose down. Brows up, hose down. Little brow. Little brow.
Yeah, you guys are from like Texas.
Get them, caterpillar eyes.
Anyway. Yeah. King in the sting.
The thing is, they played that song for Bryan Callen at the beginning of the episode. He listened to it and thought, you know, hey, it's a little bit over the top, isn't it? The reason why Bryan Callen is doing that podcast is because he's doing his podcast tour, promoting his new YouTube special that just dropped. And when I first saw that, I thought, you know, he must be brave. I mean, he must know that Brendan Schaub is going to get brought up and likely roasted. I mean, the guys at Legion of Skanks probably trashed Brendan Schaub the most out of everybody else. But after watching the podcast, it's clear that Bryan Callen was not aware of just how much Brendan Schaub was getting trashed in that podcast. Because here's the thing, not only did Brendan Schaub get brought up in the conversation, but they actually roasted him for about 6 minutes straight. For about 6 minutes, they were watching a video that I think Brendan Schaub put out a while back. I think it was a promo video. And they were just watching it, roasting him. A lot of the things were hilarious, and I do believe that they were holding back. I do think that they were holding back on, you know, more harsh jokes, but even then, it was brutal. And real quick, if you can please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, it helps out a lot, and most of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed, so I'd appreciate it if you do. Thank you. When I first saw that Bryan Callen was going to be on it, I didn't really think much of it. Maybe some jokes were going to be said, whatever. But the fact that Bryan Callen actually brought it up on the Fighter and the Kid episode to Brendan Schaub, I thought was pretty weird, because this is what he said.
I did Legion of Skanks. Your buddies at the Skanks.
They're my good friends.
Yes, they said, and the big one was, do you think Brendan Schaub is funny?
Oh, interesting.
And I said yes, without hesitation.
Yeah.
And I was telling the truth. So there you go, buddy.
And then what were the other questions?
Based on Schaub's response, he clearly doesn't see those guys as friends for obvious reasons. So I do think it's a bit awkward, you know, that Bryan Callen is sitting there talking about it, especially because Bryan Callen told Brendan Schaub that he did the lie detector test, and that they asked him if Brendan Schaub was funny, and he said yes. He told them that he had a blast, and then he also brought up the fact that they were roasting Bryan Callen on that video, on Brendan Schaub's video, but he didn't tell Brendan Schaub that they were roasting him, because in fact they only made fun of Bryan Callen a couple of times on that video. It was mostly obviously just focused on Brendan Schaub. Now here's the thing, I know Brendan Schaub has said himself that he doesn't want to punch down and reply to low-level comics or whatever that means that are, you know, trashing him. But honestly, I think he should. I honestly think he should start clapping back and addressing everybody that talks about this whole thing. Is getting kind of old, especially when those guys are just like openly trashing you in front of your best friend. I also just talked about this on a video that I uploaded, talking about Brendan Schaub versus Dana White and how much positive attention Brendan Schaub is getting from that exchange with Dana White. So taking that in consideration, I do think that he should reply, maybe not start fights, but just reply and engage everybody that trashes him. I mean, they are getting views, they are getting the exposure. What are we doing here? I would understand if it was like Dave Chappelle or someone bigger and didn't want to pay attention to all these people, but come on, dude, just give the people what they want. Clearly, the past drama that he has been through with Dana White, Bobby Lee, and all those people clearly helped them stay relevant. So he should take that and run with it. But for now, Brendan Schaub just keeps getting roasted. Somebody just dropped a song completely blasting him, and again, you should take a look, you should take a listen to that. So again, I think he should respond. We'll see what happens. I don't think he'll respond to the Legion of Skanks people, but maybe we'll see. Again, if you guys made it this far, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. We'll be uploading content frequently, and new merch available at comedyenforcement.com. That's I think all we have for today. See ya.